Amen in the house. Edward D. Beck is here. Jay Lynn's here. Anime Reyes. James from Sacramento's in the house. 8 million of you in the house today. Laurice is here. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be in the world. This is Dan from Dan and Minnie's Journey, coming to you live from Cebu in the Philippines. Quick shout out to Mel for getting that 14 or 17 million views on Crocodile. You saw I got a wonderful 182 views on my robot versus Crocodile. Probably won't be using those toys again. Mavs McJourney, Mixed Adventures here. Good morning, bro. How's the workout going with the concrete barbells? All right. Let me fade this sound out here. Getting a little bit better at that, I think. Start the cam. Okay, so I have beauty cam. Yeah, I got beauty cam on because I didn't get my beauty rest. I have a cold. I have a little bit of a cold. Thank you, 5 million, for being here today. Oh, my goodness gracious. What's our topic today? What's our topic? How to get 1 million views, I guess, on short videos would be a good topic. I think I'm going to have to watch a few videos to figure out how it all works. So I know the next one that we're doing must feature Ma'am Minnie. It seems that I get more views when Ma'am Minnie is featured. I'm not sure why. Tim Deziak is in the house. So Larry might not be here, right? Because Larry is working, ain't he? Didn't Larry say on his live stream that he was changing over to the swing shift or something like that? I do recall. Tim, what's going on in AC? Are you getting rain? Are you getting dumped on? Has the storm passed us by yet? Is there epic flooding like there is in certain parts of the northwestern part of the Philippines, Luzon Island? Because I'm seeing YouTube videos and photographs on Facebook showing people needing to be rescued by helicopter from the top of their house. And unfortunately, we don't have any helicopters here in the Philippines, so I don't know what they're going to do up there on the roofs of their house. So my heart goes out to all those that are suffering in the Northwest, island of Luzon, from the epic super storm that they're going through, which is now, I think, out to sea. It's done its damage and is out to sea, from what I understand. So anyway, what are we talking about? Oh, so prior to live here, I'm looking at videos, right? YouTube videos to get ideas about things I could talk about. And one caught my attention about Calamansi farming. I was kind of shocked to learn that Um, Crops are down on Calamansi, and I mean, it's really shocking, when you think about it, they've had such a decline in agricultural production on Calamansi because it's so much in demand. And so one of the things I thought about is, man, we got to plant a couple of calamansi trees so that we have enough calamansi to go around. That's almost like a miracle fruit here in the Philippines. So I'm really, really shocked that calamansi production is down. I think I might know why. One reason why it might be down is because they're just not, it works the same way that rubber tree production works. You're selling your calamansi to a broker, so you have a middleman involved. And I think that one of the answers to, after a while, the farmers, they give up because they're not getting the price. They're getting a higher price for growing some other crop as opposed to growing calamansi. So they abandon the calamansi and they start growing the crop that they can make some money with. They can make a living with. It's a very labor intense situation when growing calamansi, and so a lot of farmers are just giving up, saying, "I'm not getting the money." I think that one answer in order to solve that problem is to start forming farming cooperatives. Tim is saying there's been a typhoon sandwich here. Typhoon, monsoon, topped with another typhoon. Wow, that does sound like a typhoon sandwich. Mm. Mike Married is in the house. Mike, thanks for coming. So far, 9 million people in the house. Edward D. Beck's here. Anna Mae's here. Sek Bucci stepped into the chat. So the whole thing is that started getting me to think that, well, you wouldn't have the same type of problems with small farm production. I'm talking about you grow, 8 or 12 or trees or so, and then you harvest the fruit of your labor yourself. Keep some of them, hold some of them back for your own personal use, and then sell the calamansi to your neighbors. But I think cooperative farming is the answer. And they try to keep getting the farmers to go towards an industrial farming type of model, the way they have it in the States. We all know what happens in the States. Once the big companies take over, like Monsanto and all those other guys, we end up getting, fruit and vegetables that have been sprayed to death with pesticides. They're not organic. And I kind of would like to see organic farming, that's been going on here in the Philippines since the beginning of time. I'd like to see it survive. And I don't know where you guys are at with it. Moelma's in the chat today with us. Thanks, Moelma, for your time. So, hey, go up, do me a favor. I hope I'm not violating YouTube policy, but go in there, at least give the short video crocodile and robot another look. I wouldn't be so embarrassed if we could hit maybe 500 views by the end of the day. I played it, until I can't play it anymore, and YouTube doesn't count it when you're playing it in your own channel. It's only for fun. I don't get paid any money. Oh, by the way, I got a couple of copyright, not strikes, but usage on music, and it's interesting because I had addressed and disputed these copyrights months ago on the music. A woman that has a beautiful voice who's singing a ballad, in one of my YouTube videos going back to 2021. And so Princess Sarah's here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your time. I know time is valuable. So I was surprised to get the copyright notice again on that video because I'd already addressed it. I addressed it about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago or something like that. And they went after it again, right? So I had to change. Listen, nobody watches those old videos. Nobody watches any of my videos, come to think of it, except for you guys. You guys. Every once in a while, a miracle happens. I'll get a 1K. I'll get 1K views on a video, like the business class video on Philippine Airlines. But anyway, But anyway, I had to address those copyright strikes again, not strikes, notices. I never have gotten a copyright strike, which is very, very serious when you get one of them. Well, anyway, so I sent the dispute back, and they sent me back right away. No, no, no. I mean, almost within hours, I get the response back saying, no, 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 no. The owner of the copyright license doesn't want you using their music. So it was on two separate videos. I used the same music, and so I had to go in there and I had to find some generic music that I had to use to take care of it. I just hate those showing up on my uh, on my on my product. But anyway, so because I'm very careful about that, I respect intellectual property and the like. So we ended up let's see. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm at work. Yeah, we kind of figured you were working the swing show. So anyway, what's the story? So I got four of them, right? One was released right away. One of them was released right away saying, yeah, we're sorry, you have permission to use it. And they restored that. One of them is still being reviewed for the dispute, one of them being reviewed, and two others, I lost those disputes, even though I had won them before a year and a half or 2 years ago. And I was like, okay, well, once you lose a dispute, you can leave it hanging up there if you want to, but it's not really fair to the licensee or the license owner or the intellectual property owner. I just take the beating and I go in there and change it. Nobody watches those old videos anyway. No one watches my new ones. Like I said, who cares? So the music plays on, as they say. Now on the short videos, I thought that I would get at least one more. I could wring that out. I could bring out the water, last drops of water, before I had to put robot and crocodile away. So I tried posting that last short video, and it goes absolutely well. It didn't go nowhere. A lot of you liked it. A lot of you told me it's pretty funny. I thought it was funny having the robot taunt the crocodile. And I was gonna put music with it, like I was gonna put Godzilla versus robot versus Godzilla, some such nonsense like that. And I just decided, I'll just go with the same techno music that I used before, the electronic sound that I have licensed to use. So, but anyway, that fell apart. And then, man, Minnie and I, we start brainstorming early this morning on uh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do for the next one? And then we started playing around with the squishy alien again, and that whole thing fell apart. We started fooling around, stretching the alien uh, that we got at Toys R Us, and that alien creature, the eyeballs popped out. I don't know what other. That would have been funny in of itself had I been taping that episode. Where the paint on the eyeballs just starts flaking off the thing, the toy. So. Oh, did you get away to the beach yet? No, we're talking about it, but with this storm, we want to go up to, where you hang out, mobile and we want to go up to, but the problem is, Mike, is that it's been ugly out. It hasn't been raining that much, but it's just ugly looking. So I don't know, maybe man, Minnie and I, we just have to get on the bus and go. We did walk though. We walked down to Galleria Mall from our little tiny abode here. So we walked all the way down, which was about 45 miles towards the beach. 45 minutes. I mean, not miles. I wouldn't be able to walk 45 miles in a month, let alone 45 minutes. So we walked down. It's just one street. It's a straight shot down to where the water is. So I ask you this question, right? Galleria is very close to Pier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So, oh, Mike is saying it's money in the province. Yeah. So who wants to go there if it's all money, Who wants to go there? Anyway, here's the thing. Oh, I have a cold, so I hope you don't mind me. Hopefully, it'll dry out today. But okay, so it's the weather changing. You know, the weather's changing so fast here. I don't know if you've heard if some of you are sick out there because of the weather changing. Hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. Well, anyway, back to the story. So Galleria, that's where I was, right? So we walked down to the Galleria Mall, and we made it down there in just what Google said we should make it down there in 45 minutes walking. We're not in a hurry, for crying out loud. We're retired. And thank you, Moelma. Thanks for those well wishes. I appreciate it. So I was surprised. You can't get lost. So why is it so expensive to get down there by taxi? Who every time I turn on my GPS, we get there just fine. But when I don't reach for my phone and turn on the GPS, we end up going in circles, and I end up paying like 150 pesos just to get a ride straight down the street. So anyway, we've talked about this before. We're just simply going to figure out how to use the buses and the taxis. And now we know that we're a straight shot because we walked it. Well, we could start using the bus. And I may have mentioned this, maybe not. I think it's in an upcoming video that I'm going to post later on today or tomorrow. But folks in Cebu, they don't have quite the resistance that they're experiencing in Manila for the jeepneys going away. And so there's a big push in this country, and I know where it comes from. You know where it comes from. There's a big push to eliminate jeepneys because of the smog. And so they're coming out with all kinds of different transportation modes: electric trikes, electric bikes, electric everything, including electric buses and non-polluting or minimally polluting diesel pushers that the city has taken over. Mike, what does this remind you of? Edward D. Beck, what does this remind you of? It reminds me of the takeover, the municipal government takeover of transportation. And so now, why would you want to? So every now and again, so in Cebu, they don't have the resistance in this movement. You don't have people protesting. You don't have people holding up signs saying, "Hey, you're taking my job away." But basically, that's what they're doing, because Jeepney, is generational. Jeepney is, you have 2.5 generations of families that's all they've done their entire lives is driven the bus. And the transportation system works. It works great. They travel north, south, east, west. You can't get lost. You get off one, you jump onto another. You ask a question, they'll tell you exactly where to go and what to do. People are constantly telling me where to go. All right, so but I really feel for these jeepney drivers. I'm like this. I'm halfway over here. I'm halfway over there. There's got to be a way for them to train these drivers. I don't know if there is a program so they can transition, but they'd be transitioning over to employment. See, they wouldn't be entrepreneurs any longer because the cities are taking over. At least here in Cebu, the cities are taking over the transportation system. And so far, they run the same route as the ones that they're replacing. So in order for us to get down to Galleria, if we're not walking, that is, which it was a pleasant walk, by the way, they have the white buses. And you guys, some of you in here, because you live in the cities, you know what I'm talking about. They replace these white buses with the city sticker, municipal transportation sticker, is starting to show up. And they're replacing the Jeeps. And so people just get on there and they look like a Jeep on the inside, except they're air conditioned, they're comfortable. The only problem that I have so far is, I've damn near been killed a couple of times because the inexperienced driver, no doubt, will hit the brake a little bit too hard or change gears without clutching all the way, and so the bus will it'll jerk, and then I'll go flying off a seat. But it has bench seating, very very much just like a regular Jeep. And so I am conflicted here, folks. I'm conflicted. I'm not taking sides. I could see both sides uh, of the issue. Yeah, that's true. Well, that's right. Another good point, Edward D. Beck, about COVID rides the bus too. Yeah, that's problematic because jeepneys are open air and you're in an enclosed environment, and that's probably why I have this cold. Is because now things have changed. Things have changed here in the Philippines. So they could run the jeepney on propane. Yeah. So they're going to have, that's true. So they can convert them. And that may be the answer, except do the guys have the money? Do the owners have the money in order to convert? It seems like it runs like a franchise to me. But anyway, I'm not sure how the whole thing works. But Mike is saying actually COVID helped with the transfer of the buses or transfer to buses. Diesel converts easily. Yeah, they can convert them. You're absolutely right. I don't know if they'd get longevity out of those engines if you convert it over to propane, but you're absolutely right about that. You can convert them with a kit. And so I don't know. I don't know where this is all going to end up. Manila, they're suffering. They're suffering, and I think the campaign, if it hasn't already started, will be starting soon to demonize jeepney drivers. I mean, that's the way they attack us in the United States. They demonize us, right? They start calling us names. Oh, you don't want to be green. You want to kill your whole family off because you're polluting. Blah 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 blah. It starts like that. Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. Oh, you're crazy. All this other stuff, right? You should want change. Electric is the future. These new Jeeps are our future, right? They'll start doing stuff like that. LV, 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 LV is in the house, stepped into the chat. So I don't know what the answer is, but you can't leave all these guys hanging. The only thing they've ever done their entire life is drive the Jeep. And so we have to be able to provide some program that allows them to transition over from their smog, health, polluting, all the things you can think of. We have to help them transition. It's only right. It's only right to help them transition. Good morning, LV. Stepped into the chat. Larry Lee is here working. He's probably on his phone. Good morning, Crystal's Adventure. Yeah, so every time I get a fail, like I did last night on my short video, where it's robot taunting crocodile, think about Crystal's adventure, and her chicken eating burger, which is news. Robot taunting crocodile is not news. It happens every day, but chicken eating burger, that's news. And so you end up getting 5, 6, 8, and 10K views on a video like that. So, or crocodile has very long legs. What I mean is they're very short legs, but they have very long. Well, anyway, forget about that. So basically with crocodile, you get Mel where she's getting 17 million views or 17K, whatever it is on crocodile. And it makes me want to it makes me want to order another croc from Lazada. So once I get the toys, I start giving them away, So no. Listen, the views on the channel are going skyrocket. My watch hours are going crazy. I look at it every day. It keeps improving. But hell, I don't have hardly anybody watching my videos. They're watching the shorts. And so I understand why some of you have switched over and you've concentrated only on your short videos, because that's how you're getting subscribers. New subscribers are flocking to the channel at the rate of 70 per month, which is a lot for me when I was only getting 3 or 10 or whatever it was, right? And somebody has critiqued me a little bit, saying you're supposed to be mixing your own videos into shorts. Hey, you run your channel the way you want to, and I'll run my channel the way that I want. Madeline is in the house. Tim Desiak says electric vehicles in the Philippines are going to drain the extreme lack of the power grid. They'll work it out some kind of way. They'll discover free energy by then. And Mike is saying we don't have many Jeepney in Dumaguete City or buses, mostly intercity. Hey, since you brought this up, Dumaguete, what? So, all right, stay with me, folks. I'm not making any kind of accusation. I'm just laying it out there as, I thought about this. I share everything with you in the spirit of transparency. I have very, very few secrets. And the secrets they do have, trust me, they should remain secret. So Filipina P, someone tells me, Dan, Filipina P is in New York and she's going here, she's going there. All right, time out. She gets on there and she says, I know what you guys are thinking. I'm here to see somebody. Maybe I am, or maybe I'm not. The Filipinos are not interested in seeing New York City. We've got BGC. We've got we've got everything that the U.S. has, and even 10 times better. So why would you say, Miss P? I'm just asking a simple question here, that you're going to the United States so that you could show other Filipinas what they're missing. You could show them all the things, that New York City has to offer, Times Square. And then where are you going from here? You're starting on the East Coast, and then I guess you're going to the Midwest, and then perhaps the West Coast. I don't know what the plan is. But she said that there's too much drama in Dumaguete, and she had to get the hell out of Dodge. Oh, really? Would the drama involve Paul by some chance from World Zoom? Would it by chance have anything to do with Paul? Are you getting a little bit too much heat, Filipina P, about interviewing Paul 3 times? You aren't by chance going to the United States to do a 4th interview with a convicted felon, would you be by chance? I'm just curious. I'm just throwing it out there for you to ponder. That's all. I've got nothing against the P. I like the P a lot. Except that I'm not buying into it, and I've said a couple of times that transparency, truth prevails over deception. Truth is always going to prevail over deception, no matter how painful it might be for you to deliver the truth. Because people will find it out anyway, and then you're giving them fodder. You're giving them ammunition to attack you, which I really wouldn't want to see. And by the way, it's not an attack. I'm not attacking you. I'm just saying that you should lay it out there. You should lay it out there and be a little bit more transparent. I mean, going to the United States, if you're a Filipina on a tourist visa, is a big deal. And so then you should have played that part up, that, yay, like Mel Jean going to Paris. Yay, oh my gosh, I got a visa to go to the United States. You know how difficult that is to get for a Filipina? That's the way that I would have presented the story. That's the way that people want to see the story presented, I do believe. Not that most of you will think that I'm here because I'm going to see somebody. Maybe I am and maybe I'm not. Maybe that dude's name is Paul from World Zoom. So maybe that's part of the ploy. I'm not sure. If it is, it's equally brilliant now that I've had a chance to think about it again. Minge is here. Ryder Adventure is here. And Madeline is in the house. Thank you so much for your time. Jeanzel is here. Okay, so where are we? I'm behind in the chat, so let me catch up. Let me catch up to see what you guys are sharing with me. Oh, the emojis are growing. Yeah, the emojis are growing, which means people are bailing. All right, all right. So uh, let's talk about. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's talk about. Let's switch gears. No, let's not switch gears. Let's go talk about what we're supposed to be talking about. Oh wait, wait, wait. Am I giving away money today? Well, I've got issues. I've got issues, but I probably am. But so I've tried to come up with so many different ideas other than using the virtual spin, big spin, on how we select winners, right? The yellow tabs aren't working out so well. I got bingo tabs, and then bingo only goes up to 75 numbers. So I end up doing this. And then this doesn't work because you could feel the difference in the tab. So I went to this, and this seems to be working out a little bit better. But now, after I've played with it for a while, um, I'm deciding, well, maybe virtual spin, uh, is one of the only ways that this can be done properly. I'm not sure, but today we're going to pull a number out of this bowl for the winner. Today, that's the way we're going to do it. Ma'am Minnie is going to do it, but and she's ready. Oh, 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 oh. See, here's the other thing, right? They kept spilling out of the bowl. They kept spilling out of the bowl. Oy. And I don't want anybody to miss their chance to win. So I ended up counting all of these to make sure that I had all the numbers in there. I was missing four. And I don't know if they were prior winners or not. So I tried using this thing, and then where you shake it up. You guys have seen these before, right? You guys have seen these before. Star bingo containers. You put all these in here, and then you shake it, baby, and then you try and get one out of here, and it's just too awkward. It just doesn't work. It doesn't. Seems in theory that it should work, right? But it just doesn't work very well. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know if Miss P is going to be going into New York or whatever. But anyway, a fan runs into her in the airport, and he introduces himself, and I thought it was a beautiful thing. Are you the P? Are you the P here in New York? I'm a subscriber. And it turned out to be a very, very exciting moment. What? You watch my channel? Well, Pete, 90% of the people are Americans from the West that watch your channel. By the way, before we get into age gap relations, I wanted to give you some numbers. Okay, so because of the short videos, my numbers are changing. It's changing my demographics on my channel. I know this is boring you guys to death. Probably boring you to death, but I just wanted to show you the impact that the shorts had on my channel. The audience all of a sudden became stronger in the USA. But the Philippines still remains number one at 52%, mostly female demographic. In the sweet spot consumer age group, to age 34. And so, but what surprised me is I'm getting 8 to 10% from India now. The United States is holding strong at around 4 or 5%. No one in the States is watching me except they're watching my shorts. They're not watching the videos. They're not watching the live streams, except for you guys, of course. But they're watching the short video feeds. And that is what it has caused the whole demographic to change. And the 70 viewers that I'm getting every month are actually coming from the West. And so the demographics are coming into line. Now, all I have to do is start talking about something that someone cares about in the West, and we'll be good to go. So I think I'll just start talking about alien invasions and things like that. Yeah, flying saucers landing, Mitch McConnell having a stroke on live TV. Maybe I'll talk about that. Nobody wants to hear about any of that. No one wants to hear about stuff I know nothing about, which is U.S. politics. So let me see. Let me see. I got everything in my phone, as you know. Let me go see if I can pull up age gap relationships just to see. Oh, so I've been talking about for a while that this is occurring. Age gap relationship is not something that the Philippines invented. You know, Westerners coming over here and marrying young women. You know, this has been going on historically for, since men and women have been on the planet. It raises eyebrows in the West. So that's the big thing, right? It raises eyebrows in the West, and people, they say mean things to you if you're in an age gap relationship, right? They say, no, you didn't miss anything important. How could you? Dan doesn't talk about anything important, Tim. Uh, because they call them cradle robbers. They call them all kinds of mean names, They imply that people if you live in the States and they see you with a young honey, they will deliberately come up to you and they will say, "Oh, that's so nice, a daddy-daughter outing." No, that's my wife. But now, some of the Filipinos that I know that are personal friends had this. They got hammered on it so hard when they went to the West that I noticed behavioral changes in them. Right, I noticed that they now will walk a few feet above their husband or a few feet behind. That I seldom see uh, my age gap relation friends walking through the mall hand in hand together, proud. They're there. They are definitely there. But the whole situation has made them feel very, very uncomfortable. But all this stuff is going away because age gap relationships are becoming more, they're growing. And the reason why they're growing is because young ladies want instant, life is hard. That's why they're growing. The same reason why Filipinas, uh, same reason that they marry older men here in the Philippines, whether they're Filipino or Westerners or not, it doesn't matter. The reasons remain the same. They want to improve their lives. And the reason why men marry younger women is because they are rescuers. They want to rescue everybody. And also, their prior relationships hadn't worked out so well. So after you have given it a go 2 or 3 times, like I have, and you married within a couple of years of your age, you start thinking, "Hey, maybe I should do the polar opposite of what I'm doing now. Maybe I should just go ahead and try an 18 or 19-year-old for a little while and see how that works out." Tim is saying, my girlfriend is 38 and I'm 62. A perfect relationship, in my opinion, Tim. No wonder you get along so well. No wonder. Perfect age gap relationship, in my opinion. We don't have any problems with age, nor do you have any conflict, right? I bet very rarely do you get into arguments over stupid stuff, which is something that occurs often in the West. So Charmaine is here. Charmaine is in the chat. Larry is hanging in with us. Ninja Larry, I think. Princess Sarah's here. Anime. Okay, so you're seeing this among celebrities. So why is it okay for a celebrity in the West to marry younger, but it's not okay for just a regular dude to do it? Mike says men marry younger women because of sex. Oh boy. Okay, Mike. Hey Joe, right out of the chat box. You want to stir it up, huh? Men marry younger women because of sex. Okay. And Tim is saying, in fact, yeah. In fact, what's Tim saying? My girlfriend is taking classes for elder care so she can take care of me. And that's what she should be doing, doggone it. You have a good woman there. You have a good woman there. But what about George and Amal Clooney? Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, Jay-Z and Beyonce. Apart from their celebrity, these famous couples share significant age gaps. 17 years between the Clooneys, 11 years for Reynolds, which isn't, a wide enough gap in my opinion. And 12 for Jay-Z and Beyonce. Well, age differences between couples, oftentimes they spark raised eyebrows in the West. They are not as uncommon as most people think. Though the average age gap between people in heterosexual relationships in the US is only about 2.3 years. Holy crap. Only 2.3 years, that's it? Many relationships endure with a much wider age interval. In Western countries, about 8% of male-female couples have an age gap of 10 years or more. In your face. Dan is right again. I can't help it. I cannot help it. I'm right. I'm right 98.9% of the time. All you have to do is come to my channel. I will steer you right to the numbers, right? 8%. Who knew? I wonder what it's like in Canada. Mike, what do you think it's like in Canada? Very cold, Mike says. Little Canadian joke there. All right. And it's rising. It rises. Check this out. This is an interesting stat, one that you should make note of. It rises to 25% in male-to-male unions and 15% for female and female relationships. And I only have one thing to say about that female-female thing, and that is, can I watch? No. I do apologize. That was a very rude thing to say. All right, so where does this come from? PsyCom newsletter. PSYCOM newsletter. Age gaps in relationships, do they matter? Dated September 2nd, 2022. And so you have to admit, that's pretty current information. So Thailand, here I come. For some, the gap is even larger. Data suggests that around 1% of heterosexual couples in the U.S. have an age difference of 28 years or more. And of course, everyone knows those are going to be, South Asian women and American men. And in many cases, a perfect age difference does not exist. You hear that? We've been trying to tell you this for the longest time, right? We've been trying to tell you this for the longest time. That if you divorce and you're within that 2.3-year gap, then you tell me, are you in a perfect relationship? If you're divorcing and you're from the West, 47 or 48% of the time it ends in divorce, how does that qualify as a perfect age gap relationship? When age gap relationships of 10 years or more, I will make a guess by stating that they're lasting longer than the average marriage. Mike says, I did not get married for someone to take care of me. I can do anything I need to do. I married her because I asked God to put love in my heart. I did not ask for an Asian girl. I didn't even think of it. That's a pretty sweet story. That's a pretty sweet story. I would say love prevails. That's good, because that is exactly what I'm trying to point out here. Love prevails. Every now and again, Jalen, love rears its ugly head, and you have to decide what to do. I talked to a Filipino in the mall the other day who did not want to go on camera, who says that it's not that she can't stand her Filipino boyfriend. It's just that, she's getting a lot of pressure from her family to marry this dude. I would say that that's the wrong reason for staying in the relationship. What about you? Would you agree? Love should be the only reason that prevails. Mary married Joseph. He was old. She was 14. Yeah, yeah. I'm not going that young here. Yeah, no, no. We're not going that young, Mike. Um, so let's talk a little bit more about it. Let's in this article it says that relationships are so full of nuances that age difference might work well in one set of partners and it might hurt or be detrimental in another. Well, yeah, that kind of me is a no-brainer. That kind of is very, very obvious. It's up to the couple, and Mike is living proof of that. As couples transition between life stages, parenthood, raising adolescents, empty nesting, and retirement, age gaps can impact their relationships. Of course they can. Of course they can. And so you have to be able to figure out what's going on and then deal with it. I'm talking Jesus' mom was 14. Hey, but nobody's perfect, right? There was a little religious joke there, Mike. I do apologize. Please don't send me to hell. For example, differing energy levels, both up and down, decisions about whether to have children or not, all those come into play here. Retirement may pose particular difficulties for May December couples. Yes, yes, Man Minnie and I. Yeah, this could have been very, very problematic because Man Minnie could have stayed working because she had all the opportunity to stay working while I stayed at home watching Pinky Gray on the YouTube or watching Mel's crocodile short video. In other words, there could have been issues that developed over that. So we had to be on the same page as to when retirement were to take place. And I do believe that I don't see Tobias in the feed today, but Tobias has mentioned something about this. It would have been nice to have been able to get Tobias's take on this, right? Larry is saying, Dan, the age difference of 2.3 years is probably because that way the couple may die at about the same time and collect up Social Security at the same time. But we know it really doesn't happen that way, right? That the man leaves this planet way before the woman does. It's all fantasy. The 2.3 is because they're worried about what society would think about them had there been a larger age gap. I'm just saying. I had to put up the Jolly Bee so that I could wipe my nose. All right. So that is problematic. If you're in the West and you have this occur, you have to really have to plan this out. So in terms of marital happiness, at least one large study of nearly 9,000 households over a 13-year period found that older women paired with younger men are generally more satisfied with their marriages than younger women paired with older men. Bam! Bam! So I don't know if some of you Filipinos out there have been thinking about this, single ones, of course. I'm not a home wrecker. I'm not a home wrecker by any stretch of the imagination. But if you're an older man, if you're a younger man and you want to go with an older Westerner, you have an excellent opportunity there to have a sustainable relationship. But what about the older woman? So older, and if you're an older woman paired with a younger man, society has long mocked this practice, but it's also something that's becoming a little bit more popular. The celebrity couple made headlines in 2005 when Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher got married. You remember this? I was like, party on. You go, girl. You go, girl. Show them what you got. It makes sense to me, that type of relationship. So if you're older, we know someone who did this. We know someone who did this. She's an older woman who married younger. And so she was doing it because I think she was doing it because everything that she tried out in relationships had not worked. It had not worked. And she had to go the polar opposite if she wanted to be in a lasting relationship. Mike is saying, Vallejo Mike is saying, Mike HO is saying, age gap doesn't matter if it is a real relationship and not an arrangement. If other people don't like it, then F them. Yeah, you have to be comfortable with, both parties have to be very, very comfortable with each other, right? Don't they? They have to be very, very comfortable. You have to be able, and when people come up and taunt you about it, like coworkers and the like, you have to say it's none of your effing business. You just send them on their merry way. Yeah, don't feed into their criticism of your relationship. That, how people relate to each other is up to them. But I also meant that it does look a bit odd. I like someone with tattoos and spikes sticking out of their face. Yeah, something like that. You're crazy, Mike. You add a whole different dimension to the chat. Absolutely do. I'm so glad you're here, right? You would be back in the USA. They have a town called Hell. It froze over already. Yeah. All right. So, yeah. So, of course, I was thinking about older men the same way that I was thinking about older women and younger men relationships. If you're an older man, this is very common in certain communities in the United States. I see no problem whatsoever. One of them is the mentor and the other one's the mentee, and that's how they actually present the relationship in a couple of cases that I know of. And they're usually generally very grateful that they have this opportunity to learn from somebody older. I've heard many, many Filipinas talk about this in relationships with their older Westerner man. Okay, so women, if they're Nicole, what do you have to say about this? Beth, what do you have to say about this stuff? Right? Do you have any idea that you would like to share? It's okay. It's okay if you've got nothing to add. Usually, I'm spot on most of my points. So, all right. So the real question is, do big age gaps in relationships work? Huge. I mean, we're talking huge, right? We're talking decades. So while maintaining that age gap in relationships can absolutely work, it's been noted that success depends on the value system the couple has created for their relationship. Values come into play here. I'm out. I have no values. Yeah, sorry, ladies. This crusty old guy is already married. That's right, he is. Good looking guy, though. Good looking man. If a couple agrees to place a high value in their relationship, they can consistently turn back to that value and assess it if decisions are needed to reflect them upholding the values they've agreed upon to practice. I went the long way around out of what the article is actually saying. Along with good communication, honesty and transparency, the foundation of all good relationships. Couples who have large age gaps also may need to make special sorts of compromises. Now, they might be talking about cranky old men here or cranky old women. Mike Mary says, if a man is alone because of death or divorce, he is more likely to remarry. But a woman whose husband has died is more likely to not to marry again. And he's absolutely right about that factoid. But you got young men out there, they want the retirement money. They want the retirement money that your old man left you. Just don't marry him. Live with them. That's where I'm at. Live with them. Don't upset the financial coffee cart. Just live with them. Enjoy your life. Do you share long-term goals? That's the most important thing here. While long-term relationships are more successful when couples want the same things, because many life goals are age-linked. I wouldn't say so in the case of Ma'am Minnie and I. I wouldn't say that they are. I can't think of an example that I could give you where I could agree with this statement. Um, does one of you want to continue working while the other is ready to retire? But we addressed that. And the answer was, as long as we could financially sustain ourselves, uh, more in the case of Ma'am Minnie and I, it's can Ma'am Minnie sustain herself financially once Dan departs this planet? And the answer obviously was yes. And so that was part of the decision-making process. Tim is saying the only value that concerns me is the exchange rate. Yeah, which is going up, by the way, because they raised the Fed rate, and so did the UK. So much influence does that have over foreign currency, all the influence in the world, that it takes a sharp bump. And so you're going to see it continue to rise and may even hit 56 by the end of the year, especially if the Fed ends up raising interest rates one more time in September. Pay attention to what's going on in the world, folks. It's important. It's important to all of us. Filipinos, Filipinas, and American Westerners, any country you're in, this is going to have a bearing on your economy. Cha Ram is here. Thank you for being here, Cha Ram. Anna Mae is hanging in with us. Can always count on Anna Mae for sharing the channel out, and Larice also. All of you, actually. Naomi's been doing a really good job sharing it out. I appreciate it, for which if you didn't do that, no one would show up. Mike, Mary, Dan, do you have house insurance in the Philippines? No, and the reason why is because I could rebuild. I have enough money to rebuild the house should it burn to the ground, so I'm self-insured. In other words, these are all things that came into play. Cost of health insurance versus setting aside the money every month. Cost of home insurance if I set aside the money every month. All these things come into play when you live here. And so in my case, in Minnie's case, we self-insure for just about everything because we have cash to play with. If we didn't, then we most likely would be buying all kinds of insurance. I doubt that I'd ever see a single dime back from any insurance that we had to pay for myself. So even if I had a catastrophic event occur, I would go back to the United States because I have 100% coverage, right? So you just go back there. The home, we would just rebuild it. So, do friends and family support the relationship? This is important, but in the Philippines, it works way differently. You get your mom's approval prior to marrying the older dude. And the mom always has to green light it. She always has to rubber stamp the relationship. I was thinking when my asawa comes to Canada, better for her family to rebuild. Yeah. So you set aside a little bit of money for the anticipated fire, like what happened to the Filipina P, who built her mom and dad a house, and then he walked away from a boiling pot of water, and that part of the house burned down. Thankfully, it was not a catastrophic event. Just burned that whole section of the house. They had separated it out from the rest of the house, the cooking area. Yeah. You have to talk about how money will be handled. Okay, I've talked about this before, so I'm not revealing anything to you that I haven't revealed before. Ma'am Minnie gets a paycheck every month. As a matter of fact, she's due one in a few days. So every first of the month, Ma'am Minnie gets a paycheck. That paycheck is equivalent to half of my allocations from both Social Security and from my pension. So that's how we deal with the money. So it's divided by 2, and Minnie's half goes to her bank account. My half goes to my bank account. How will health insurance issues connected to aging impact a relationship? If there is a significant age difference in a partner's health, it begins to decline due to age, roles in a relationship may shift. Of course, one partner may be tasked with caretaking duties and they may start to feel distant from their partner. But see, that's a Western approach, right? That's a Western approach. In the case of an older man and a younger woman, the woman is charged with caring for the husband. She may have a career going. This isn't going to thrill her to death. And nursing care is very, very expensive in the West. In the Philippines and other Southeast Asian countries, it works completely differently. The family's responsibility. It's the family's responsibility, not only that of the wife. And so, in other words, they hold their senior citizens, if you want to refer to them as that, as being important, important and respectful. They respect them. They're the wise old sage, if you will. And so they handle it culturally, it's different. And so it's handled culturally differently. And so you do have a lot of older dudes coming over here because their main objective is to find care for themselves. And I think that's perfectly fine, especially if they're helping to improve the life of somebody else. Menelo Liz is here. Writer Venture hanging in there. So hello, Cha Ram. So see, in other words, it's culturally different. And this is a Western perspective. That, oh, I'm not taking care of you. Hell no, I want out of this relationship. And boom, they're gone. This would not necessarily occur like this in the Philippines. It's different. People are used to taking care of their families. They provide for housing. They provide for food. They provide for health care. They take care of their families. Is there old age homes in the Philippines? I believe there are, but they're not warehouses like they are in the States. I believe there are, but somebody in the chat might be able to chime in on that. So this particular author is saying that it suggests in this report that couples with a significant age difference address the possibility of age-related health issues early on, along with the level of caretaking they're comfortable with, and when they may need to bring outside help. It's a suicide mission in the States. And the reason is because, yes, they're happy to assign a home care worker to you. They're happy to provide a nurse and 24-hour care for you. They're all happy to do these things, but what you give in return is your entire life savings. And so people are fleeing the United States. When this occurs to them, if they don't have insurance that covers long-term care, really covers it for a prolonged period of time, they flee the country. This is starting to happen a lot. Listen, it's a smart thing to do because they want to preserve their assets. They don't want to give it away to the hospital. They don't want to give it away to Medicare. They don't want Medicaid in their life coming to them saying, oh yeah, we provided all these services and now you're broke. Because this is problematic because they will take, Lexi's here, Selexia's here. They will take all your assets to pay for your care. And if you don't want that to happen, if you're married to if you're an older dude like me, married to a young honey like us, it would leave her penniless. So why would we go back? Why would we go back to the States and become penniless? Because they'll take all the money in your accounts in order to pay for your health care. No. Why would you do that when you just go back to the Philippines or Mexico or some Southeast Asian country where you can pay a few $100s a month for long-term care? You wouldn't do it in the States. You wouldn't do it because that money in the States, half of all of it belongs to Minnie. See, it belongs to her. And it wouldn't be fair to squander it on your long-term care with the possibility that you will meet your demise, your untimely demise. Folks, it's always untimely when a person passes away. There's never, ever really a right time to die, a right time to leave this planet. Mike is saying they don't kick the kids out of the Philippines either when they turn 18. Yes, they don't. We don't kick them out of the house. They value their family. They value that the family unit is everything. It means everything to them. And so, no, you're not going to treat your kid like he's some kind of a burden on you. They don't look at them that way as a burden. No. Naomi's saying age gap here isn't a problem at all, as long as the compatibility of both sides and understanding each other, just learn to adjust. Right, you do. It's for everybody's welfare. That's why the relationships exist. Stephen from the Philippine Information Channel said there's a senior living home near him. Good for them. I hope Steve doesn't end up in it. I doubt that he does. You have to discuss all these issues with each other. I wouldn't have survived had I been married to a Western woman with an age gap relationship unless I had tons of money, not just a little bit of money, a lot of money that would where you'd be able to overcome these types of things financially, because it wouldn't be fair if you've got a young lady like Minnie who's bringing money into the household. You have to think about this. She's not going to be thrilled about the idea of sacrificing that hard earned money to save your stupid ass. I mean, think about this. Say it the way that it is. That's her money. Oh yeah, now the old man's going to pass. But here in the Philippines, it works completely differently. I'm referring to had we remained in the West. So both partners, bottom line they need to be respectful of each other and connected during these discussions. All these things have to be covered. Don't give or accept ultimatums. Communicate the resolve and do it respectfully. Do not be dismissive of your partner. In fact, be more curious about them, not dismissive of them. So you see, culture has everything to do with it. And it works the same way in every country that I could think of, except in certain parts of Europe and the United States. And perhaps I'm not even sure about Canada because I have no experience with it. But I mean, quite frankly, it seems to me like there are only 4 or 5 different hot spots in the world where people frown upon these age gap relationships. But men in the West are starting to embrace them, especially coming here to the Philippines to marry a younger woman because they think about all these things. But you have to be upfront and you have to reveal your intention to, your intended. You can't keep it a secret. You have to work all these things out. Richie's here. Good morning. How is everything where you're at? Rachel or Richie? Rachel La Chica. I love the name. Many Filipino families are not family oriented. The bottom line is money. If they are not working towards support of a Filipino family. Interesting. The only experience I have with that, Mike, is that they will protect their families to the death. That blood is thicker than water, always has been, always will be. That's my personal experience with it. So I can't tell if you're agreeing or disagreeing with me about that by your statement. By reading your statement, I can't tell. All right, but that's my personal experience. Of course, I haven't been here in the Philippines as long as some of y'all. I haven't. Gina's here. I haven't been here. I've only been here for a year and a half. That's nothing. We're going to be taking off soon too. We're going to be heading back to the States. We're going to go to another country, probably Kuala Lumpur. Gio in the Philippines, if you've been watching his channel, he's on his way to Kuala Lumpur for the checkup for both his intended Maya, himself, and I'm sure his family. It's a smart thing to do. We have talked about Thailand many, many times, but it turns out your best deal on for what I'm going to be going through is going to be actually not best deal money wise. You know, when you have an issue, you want to look around and saying, okay, what country deals with this? What has it? Where they have the medical facilities, where they have the specialists, where they have knowledge, where the procedures were born. It turns out Malaysia is the place to go for this particular issue that I've got. So we'll be going there, spending a couple of weeks in Malaysia. I'll be getting a checkup, just like Geo. I feel like I'm Geo. I should be playing his music. As a matter of fact, I did in one of my videos. I played his intro music. I thought it was funny. Let's see. Mike is saying, I know many that are not that way. Yeah, they're going to be many. I mean, I'm not saying all. If I said all, I apologize. It's not all culturally equal, you know. Let's see who's in here. Hi, evil, wicked witch, mommy, advisor. Joking. I like mommy. I like mommy advisor. Let's see. Bud's wife wants nothing to do with her Filipino family. It happens. It happens. You know, we've had our share of conflicts and dilemmas. Advisor channel. She's in mobile, right? She's in Lapu Lapu. Yeah, she's in Lapu Lapu. So Malaysia is the place, and then I'll be doing the play-by-play video on it if it interests you. It's very, very boring. The actual procedure that I have to have is actually very boring. First of all, I don't even know if I need it. But secondly, if I do, then we'll get it done in Malaysia because they invented the process. Now, I'm not going to reveal all what's going on with it. It's no big deal. It's just, it's not a big deal. You know, it's nothing practically. It's nothing, but it's starting to interfere with me sleeping at night, things like that, you know. And it's turning me into, you know, what do they call it? You need sleep. You need rest. A cranky person. It's turning me into a cranky person. Let's see. I notice the ones with higher education, better financial off are less family oriented. Yes, and that's how they're going to break down the family unit. You know, it's the people that end up spending money, rolling up busting out their credit cards, using home finance. All the consumer are the target. Will have an impact on how people get along in that household. You know, it's a envy and all these jealousies. These things come into play. Listen, I'm gonna try and connect the dot on what appears to be a non sequitur. You made this statement, then all of a sudden I said it seems that if you're financially better off, you have more problems, and I'm agreeing with you. But I'm going to have to connect those dots as to the reason why, and I think we're going to do that in a future video. We're not going to do it today. Yeah, vasectomy. Well, you know, yeah, vasectomy. You know, I think vasectomies. I think that the states do it best, right? Dan, Roto-Rooter works great from what I've been told. Yeah, it's going to be something like that. But they have so many processes now, so many different procedures that you don't have to go in there. And in fact, I advise against anybody going in there. And if anybody says cut to you, then you just walk. Thanks. It's been nice seeing you. I'll let you know my decision. Then they're never going to see you again. Because cutting is not the answer to this particular dilemma. But yet, in the States, they like to bust out the scalpel a lot. And that isn't the answer to my particular problem. No scalpel involved. Even though I've had a couple of consults and they said, we need to bust out the scalpel. And I say, no. There are other ways to do it. They said, well, we don't do that here. I said, well, then I need to go where it's done because that's the latest and the greatest approach. So that's what I'll be doing. I'll be seeking out the latest and the greatest technology for helping me to solve my problem that does not involve having to cut even that much of it off. Because I need all I can get. If you take that much off, then you're taking way too much. So, who's leaving us? Who's leaving us? Girly Sen is here. Mike is hanging in with us. Tim is making is enjoying making the Roto Rooter jokes. And I don't know if you knew this or not Tim, but Mike is a plumber. Mike is a. I don't know if he appreciates the Roto Rooter jokes. Yeah, the state loves a scalpel so they can jack up the fees. Interesting choice of words there, because it's actually an outpatient procedure, but you're right about that. They still want to use a scalpel instead of using other proven methods that have been perfected here in Southeast Asia. So anyway, you have to be careful. One last thing I want to talk about before we select a winner chicken dinner for the 200 pesos is this. I've noticed this. You have to be very, very careful not to become the codependent, or in the relationship. Whether you're the age gap, whether you're the older or the younger, right? You have to be very careful. Mike is saying, I don't chase poop. Just do tankless water heaters because accept the joke with an open mind. No, I'm not. No, we're not. We're in Cebu. We just got here a week ago, back in Cebu, Advisor Channel. We'll be making our way to your side of the. Yeah, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna let you know when we're over in your neck of the woods, and then we can meet up at the Dunkin' Donuts. Mike, married to a beautiful woman. Hello. Okay, so now Mike doesn't chase poop. Okay, thanks for letting us know. We'll keep that right. Well, right back here. When one partner or family member puts everyone's needs, wants, and well-being above their own, that can be codependency. It isn't healthy. And so you have to watch out for that. That's good advice for anyone. The word codependent is thrown around a lot. I will admit that. I used to throw it around. You're codependent. You're a codependent. You're in a codependent relationship. Yeah, it's thrown around a lot. But in the truest meaning, codependent relationship often involves a one-sided relationship where one person is overly reliant on the other for emotional support or connection. So this has caught my attention. It's difficult to address, really, And so when you're talking about other people's relationships, you shouldn't be. You have to be very, very careful. Over lunch with your friends, I wouldn't even say, well, perhaps you should consider that you're in a codependent relationship. I would avoid this. I would avoid even making this suggestion. Larry is saying, Dan, I had Dunkin' for breakfast yesterday. Hey, right on, Larry. No, there's no games in here. All we're going to do is something very boring, and that you're in here somewhere. You're in here somewhere. You have a number. If you've been in the chat before, you have a number. All right, so be careful of throwing around that word, and also be careful of creating that environment if you're in that or any other kind of relationship. If you're in any kind of relationship in general, it doesn't matter who you are, age gap or not. You have to communicate to make sure it doesn't de-evolve or evolve into that type of relationship. Tim went to Tim Hortons. That's because it's named after you, right, Tim? All right. There's something else I want to talk about. It was very important. I'm going to be angry at myself if I don't remember this. I'm going to be angry if I don't remember to mention. Oh, yeah. Okay. I remember. All right. The memories are waning the older I get. Speaking of age gaps. All right. Now, I want to talk about this event. And it's not it's in general terms, all right? I'm speaking in general terms. And remember, do not put anything in play that Dan has to say. Do not put anything in play that Dan has to say. I'm putting that on a t-shirt. I'm going to open up a merchandising shop. It's going to have Danisms. Do not put into play what Dan has to say, right? Take everything I say with a grain of salt. Do not let your children into this live stream because it may end up changing their opinion or their mind about something. We don't want anything to happen. So Annie MC is here. Annie MC, how are you today? Annie MC. They have smaller menus than the Canadian stores. Yeah, the sandwich menu sucks. All right, now I'm mixing up the debits here for picking a winner. While I'm doing that, I want to talk to you about PayPal. The only way that I could talk about this is just straight up. So I've been told about, well, this has been going on for a couple of years. I've had one or two inquiries from me, and I want to tell you where I think this is going. When PayPal just shuts down your account and they make serious accusations against you, there's very, very little that you can do about it. Do not keep your money in PayPal. You transfer it out as quickly as possible so you don't catch yourself in a situation where they get all of your money and they get 6 months to decide what they're going to do with it because they have decided you have violated their policies. I want to remind everybody in here that PayPal is a privately owned company. They are not a bank. They seemingly offer bank-like services, but they are not a chartered bank, which is required by law to become a bank. They partner with a bank who has a charter, but they can make arbitrary decisions like closing your account. Now, they made inquiries into my account once or twice, and I tell you where I think this is going. I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time talking about this, but I just want to share my thoughts. This is nothing new about me sharing my thoughts about the direction I think this is going. PayPal is not going out of business. Even though their stock is tanked, they still are a very, very profitable enterprise, and you have to be an idiot not to be able to make money on a service like that because it's just an application that doesn't require very, very many people to keep going. But lately, PayPal performance on the stock market has been dismal, but their profits are great. Something like 2 or 3 billion profits in their last fiscal year that they reported on income of about 25 or 30 billion. Look it up, but do not quote me on that. So that means they're a great company. They're not going away anytime soon, but they have this policy where they could just make an accusation about you and shut your PayPal account down. Only use PayPal. Mike is saying my PayPal stock is down 80%. Yes, that's right. It's going to be down 60%. It's going to be down, Mike says, 80%. Who knows what's going to happen, but it ain't going out of business because they got money. They got money. They're not undercapitalized. Don't be thinking they're going to go out of business. So let's talk about keeping money in there. Don't do it. I'm telling you. I'm not even telling you. PayPal is great for transferring money, but do not use it like it's a bank account. Once you get money inside that PayPal account, get it out as quickly as possible. Transfer it to your bank or do what I do. And you have I think it's here. Let me show you. You get the PayPal debit card. Let me see if I can find it. I'll show you real quick. I do all my accounts like this. It comes out. I may have already thrown it in the trash because I don't use it enough. Yeah, but you'll see it looks like this. This is a Wise card, Wise. And so as you use them to transfer money, what you got to do is you got to be smart about it, and you got to get the money the hell out of there. Because should somebody make some false report on you saying that you're violating the terms of their agreement, they will cancel that sucker, hang on to what every bit of money you have in there. And if you're from the Philippines, even $100 or $200, $300 is a hell of a lot of money. Folks, do not fall into the trap. Do not. I'm giving you the best advice that I could possibly give you. See this card? This is a debit card. As soon as money hits this account, I go over to the ATM machine. If I'm not taking the money out right then on the spot, I am transferring it to my bank account. But it scares me to even have the connection to the bank account. I even want to sever that relationship for fear that they'll accuse me because they get some kind of report from some moron someplace that said I violated the terms of their agreement. So do not use it like it's a bank account. It's for transferring money only. Do not keep your money in there. You only use it for transferring. Like Larry said, Dad, all you use PayPal for is transferring, and that's all you want to do with it. All right, now, that's all I have to say, because people will make false allegations against you, and the money that you have, especially if you have a vendor account, they will freeze. Is PayPal one of the greatest things since sliced bread? Yes, but they have other ways you could transfer money. And a few of you have already mentioned them here in the chat. Google Pay, Apple Pay. All these are opportunities that are for you. But I want to tell you what this reeks of to me, right? And it is not a critique of PayPal. This is a critique of apps in general. They're gearing up to deploy social credit scores based on morality, based on your actions, based on your good deeds or your lack thereof. And one way you do it is when somebody complains, about you, saying that you're selling sex on the internet and you're accepting PayPal payments as payment. That's one example. They will come in there and swoop down in there and close your account and keep the money. They will hang on to the money, and you will be at the disadvantage trying to prove to them that a false accusation has been made against you. And they don't have the manpower. It's an app. It's a computer app that uses algorithms. They don't have the manpower to be able to investigate any of this. So that means that you better be watching out, because these applications, they will form their own credit bureau, social credit bureau. They will get together. I'm sure it's already happening. And they will say, we're going to communicate with each other so that we can close all the accounts of the undesirables, whether these accounts have been substantiated or not. See what I'm saying? Advisor, my PayPal is 210 and PayPal hold it. Yeah, it's stupid. They're going to hold it forever. It's 50-50 whether you're ever going to see your money again. Do not use it like it's Bank of America. If you want BPI, go open a BPI account. I transfer money in there all the time, right? Use BPI. They work great. Do not Do not use PayPal as though it's a bank account. I cannot stress this enough, because where they're heading for is they're heading for a social credit score environment, and they're going to start judging your morality. Do you go to church on Sunday? Do you sing in the choir? We give you extra points. Are you doing, don't get paid for fun by PayPal. No, it's nobody's business what you do. It's not PayPal's business, but they will accuse you of violating their policy, and they will, for as long as cash exists. Mike, use cash. For as long as cash exists. Good. Never use it if you can. I'm going to separate myself from it. I've told many, many people that I'll be looking at different avenues for trying to transferring money, even if the fees are more expensive. I may just go back to the old family favorite, Western Union. So I've been sponsoring accounts. The money is coming to you via PayPal. But here's the problem. They could come to you and say, by association, we're closing your account. You do business with Dan. Dan is a morally corrupt individual. Do you understand this? Dan is morally corrupt. And so they will shut your PayPal account down because I'm a morally corrupt individual. So you'll be looking around trying to find out, why did they close my account? They accuse me of doing something, but the only thing you will be guilty of is doing business with Dan. So I'll be separating myself from PayPal over time. It takes time, as I explore different ways of sending money out to you, so I could sponsor so I could participate or continue to participate in sponsorships, because I want to continue to do that, because it improves people's lives. Larry is saying, I leave no money in my PayPal account. As soon as I put money in, I transfer the money out, whoever I'm sending it to. And that's how I use it. And on occasion, money has been refunded to me, and I've taken that money out ASAP and I've transferred it. So eventually they'll only want the cream of the crop to do business with them. And like I say, the danger zone is that the dangerous part is going to be what I already said, and that is that it will form a clearinghouse that has information about you in there, gives you a credit score based on your good works or the lack thereof, or the accusations made by trolls. They will take to heart and they will close your account. And then the whole thing is going to fall like dominoes. The whole thing will crash and burn just like dominoes. All right. And many times I've gotten inquiries from PayPal, and at least 3 separate occasions where they've asked me, directly, have you ever had any complaints about this client in the transferring of money or the returning of product? And I said, I don't buy product from this client. And they will say, what do you do with this client? I will say that it's sponsorship for YouTube. And so it's happened before. So PayPal is already sniffing around. They already want to know what we're using the money for. Go find out if the transferring of money, using it in sponsorship programs on YouTube, is a violation of their service agreement. And if it is, I don't know. I haven't looked it up. There's no need for me to look it up, because I've already decided what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to separate myself from the use of it. This is not a critique of the great system that PayPal has in place and the great job that they've done. They're number one. They're number one in the world for the transferring of money. So no, I'm not critiquing them from that. I'm just warning you that it's a private company. They can do whatever the hell they want. And so that means even if they arbitrarily close your account and you're not guilty of doing anything, it doesn't matter. You have very little recourse. Your only recourse would be to sue them. How are you going to do that from the United States? How are you going to sue PayPal? How are you going to get standing in order to sue PayPal in a class action, saying that they violated their own policy by not giving you a fair hearing? I mean, that's what we're talking about here, folks. So don't do it. Don't put yourself in that place. Don't put people in charge of your money, of your future. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm in charge of me. I'm in charge of my money. All right. So I'm always going to give you the truth according to Dan. Right now, we're going to call Mam Minnie over so that she can pull a number out of the hat. Okay, so I'm not going over details about what I got set up here, but your number's in here, and so Mam Minnie, she's simply got to pull one out. Mam Minnie, can you come on over here and pull us a winning number? People are waiting for their 200 peso stipend today. All right, so don't look. Don't make me blindfold you. Don't make me tie you up and blindfold you, Mam Minnie. Come on over here. They can't see you. Come closer. Come closer. They can't see you.
Because your camera is in the sky.
Yeah, it's in the sky. No, it's right here. All right, so now you have Mam Minnie. All right, go ahead and pull one. Now don't look. Don't look. Okay. You just have to pull one number.
I'm gonna count 3.
Yeah, if this tag feels different, it doesn't matter. Just pull the one that ends up in your hand.
Are you ready?
All right, here we go. Drum roll. I'm ready.
Good morning, everybody.
You have to look this way, hon. You have to look this. They don't see you. Okay, you have to look this way. 1. Okay, you got it.
Here.
The winning number is number 113. 113. 113 is no, that's not. 113 is over here. Manolin. No, not Manolin. Trip and Jarek. 1112 was Manolin. 1112 is Manolin. Hey, Manolin, by the way, do I have your Gcash number? Your Gcash account number? Just in case I need it for future Gcash.
Good morning,
1113, Trip and Jerry.
Ate Cora.
Going once. 1113, Trip and Jerry. Going twice. 1113, Trip and Jerry. Going 3 times. What? Abby's here. 1113, Trip and Jerry. Going 4 times. 113, Trip and Jerry. Last call. All right, we're going to pull another number. I don't see if they're in here. If they turn out to be in here and it's just internet delay, we'll have to figure out what to do. But no one, no one is going to be slighted. That's for sure. Grab that and throw it in here. All right, see the problem?
Like this.
No, you can't because they'll all fall out. All right, close your eyes. Pull another number.
Where is that?
Pull another number right here. Wait, right here.
There.
Oi!
Oi.
You have one. The next winning number is 104. The Voyager family, 104. Okay, Voyager family. Call out, going once. Voyager family. Call out, going twice. Voyager family. Call out, going 3 times. Voyager family. Call out, going 4 times. Final call for Voyager family. Yeah, we're going to go back to Ziploc. Where's that Ziploc bag? Voyager family, you're timed out. We're going to pull again. Where's that big Ziploc bag that we had in originally? That's what my suggestion is. It's a good one. You know, the big one? Yeah, Yeah, the really big one. Yeah, we're gonna do that, Mike, because we don't want any.
Not like
We don't want any of them to bounce out. Okay, so here we go. They're in the Ziploc. Now they're all there. The two that we called, they've been pulled out. So now we're gonna go in again. Okay. All right, we're going in. Go ahead and pull one, man. Minnie. Close your eyes. Pull it. Don't look. Don't look. Okay, she has one. Okay, the next one is number 74. Number 74. 74 is, who's number 74? Number 74 is Mike. Hey, Joe.
Oh, like that.
Going once. Say present, Mike. Hey, Joe, and then tell me if you want the money you want to pass or donate it to somebody. Mike. Hey, Joe. Number 2. Call out. Number 3. Present and accepted. Okay, Mike, you're the winner.
Yay, congrats.
You're the winner. I hope you have. Oh, donate to Crystals. Yay. Crystals,
Hi,
Mike said
Crystal.
donate to you. So you have 200 pesos coming your
Hi,
way.
honey.
Mike Hey Joe is the winner. Donated it to Crystals. It's time to end the live. It went well, I think. So we'll do the Ziploc. I think we have this thing down. We'll do the Ziploc from now on. Congratulations. Thanks everyone for your time. It's all appreciated. And please like, subscribe if you haven't already. And let's get Larry Lee, if he will, to take us out of this live stream with words of wisdom. Larry Lee, if you're here.
Sir Larry.
Asawa says, hello, ma'am, Minnie.
Hi, Ate Cora and Sir Mike. How are you guys?
We'll wait a couple seconds for the internet to catch up. Goodbye, Charmaine. Thank you so much for being here. Take care. Be safe. Be healthy. Thank you, Sir Dan and Ma'am Minnie. Hey, Joe from Vallejo. Time for a Bavarian cream donut. It's time to make the donuts, Tim. I guess here's Larry. We're caught up now. Remember to be kind to each other. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe and healthy. Plus, always try to have fun. And that's what we'll be doing today.
Thank you, Sir Larry.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye,
Minnie,
everybody.
Aileen, Cruise Official, Larice. See you later. Have a good day.